So I want to welcome you all to just a newer version of um, my my evening show. Newer version. We're out here, as they say. We out here. Get that over there. It might be okay. So on the way back from helping my daughter, who's on the screen there. Shout out to Miss Sasanke Fatisha. On the way back from helping my daughter celebrate her 20th birthday, as a student, one of the nicer schools in Wisconsin. On the way back from this trip, I found myself thinking, like, man, I made it. You know, like really, really made it. I mean, it was the trip itself. I mean, it was dangerous. I was all over the road. You know, I had no sleep. I had no help driving, but all I kept thinking was, I got to get there and help her celebrate her 20th birthday. I remember how special it was for me to break into my 20s. You all remember that, right? So I was thinking I have to help my daughter celebrate her 20th birthday. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm driving up there. So on the way back, I left and I was playing around. I was supposed to have been out of there by like 11:30 a.m. noon. Had I done so, it might have been okay. Man, a winter's blizzard rolled through in the beginning of April, Wisconsin, Iowa. I was literally driving 30 miles an hour like an old lady, right? But once I hit Missouri, it started to even out, Oklahoma. But I started thinking, see, many of y'all don't have time to really sit back and listen to wisdom. But I was thinking, y'all, like, I made it. So when I get back to Texas, I'm going to go on my farewell tour. And you're saying Taibu Muad'Dib, certified goal achievement coach, motivator, speaker, ultimate salesman. Farewell tour, what does that mean? See, what many of you didn't know is that after a long time of doing something over and over and over and over again, you look towards, greener pastures. You look towards something different. You want to just anything different. So you go on a farewell tour. You look at John Bon Jovi. You look at some of the big acts from way back in the day. New Edition still performing. I'm saying you look at some of the, just music bands. But so the farewell tour is letting the whole world know I'm not doing this anymore. And so I'm podcasting tonight to encourage many of you to say this. And I'm telling you, it was interesting because when I got back, this whole eclipse thing happened. I wasn't thinking about no eclipse with my daughter, but I get back, the whole eclipse things happened the very next week. And so on the eclipse day, if y'all saw my live on TikTok, I said, I want all of you, listen to me, I want all of you to do something so spectacular, everybody stops and stares. That was the revelation I got. I don't know what you got from that eclipse, but when I saw it, I think as a kid, I blew it off. I think my whole life, other stuff going on, I did not stop and look at the beauty of the eclipse and just take in, the enormity of what it really was happening. For the sun to be covered up for like 4 minutes, completely covered. It to be dark and you'd be able to look directly at the sun without the glasses. Like as soon as that sun came off, as soon as the moon came off that sun, pure, it was over. But my thought was, I want you to do something so spectacular one time in your life that everybody stops and stares. Can you do that? Is it in you? So I brought back Patreon because many of you are pressed for time. You can join the coaching program by hitting the Patreon link, going to my Patreon page and jumping on there, and you won't miss. This is going to YouTube. This is my Tuesday evening class. Do some employment transitions and new career searches. what I'm doing now, I'm telling you right now, this is where it's at. This is where it's at. Like I told everybody, when you don't see me online, I'm helping somebody to improve their life, to change. I'm watching the transformation happen. So if you're on TikTok, you see the background that I have, the green screen, my lovely daughter, newly 20, and me, just sharing a good time. Shout out to the Rolly Ball facility. Rolly Ball is a beast. If you haven't done it, do it. Shout out to the 414 and all of Milwaukee. That Rolly Ball is something else. Farewell tour. As you can see, I don't have the music playing in the background. I have the bells and whistles many people have. But what I will give you is, if you listen to me, really listen to me, if you click on the links on my pages and download the EFC workbook and begin to line up your activities so you can reach your goals quicker than you thought possible, what you'll end up with is like a song that you like so much you play it over and over again. Who's had that song recently? A song, you hear it and you play it till you get sick and tired of it, right? That's what listening to my podcasting should be like for you out there that are hungry for success, that are hungry to have an eclipse moment that everybody stops and stares at you. And you see me podcast and you see me do different things, and I was all over the place. But you look at the focus now, you look at the outfit now, you look at just the entire level of confidence now. And you know that when I say I made it, but I didn't have to tell you that, you can see it. You can see it. This is America. And we lose people along the way, don't we? We lose family members, loved ones along the way. We lose people along the way. If you lost someone recently and you fall completely apart, I want to say one thing to you. That was not what it was meant to do. I don't want any of you to fall apart when Taibu Muad'Dib passes on. Because as a Christian, more than anything else, I believe that there's something awesome waiting for me when this sinful body of flesh passes. So I like being in the South here, right next door to Louisiana, because some folks might dance when I pass. They might break out in the song and get to jugging, right? And don't cry for me. Don't fall apart. Don't go into a deep depression and quit your job over Taibu Muad'Dib. Embody what I stood for. As a legacy builder, I want you to embody. You'll have these podcasts as long as the internet's still up. You'll have my books as long as Amazon's still selling stuff. And of course they will be. But the transition from this life onto something else, how could it not be spectacular? All the testing happens here. All the trial and tribulation happens here. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for joining. You want sensationalism? You want somebody to be doing something weird or wild online? You don't want to hear the wisdom that's to be found. You don't want to hear it. But it's incumbent upon me to give it to you anyway. Because that's what I was put here to do. You may have been put on here to entertain us with your nice TikToks and with your nice memes and reels, and that's what you might, and they're entertaining. Millions of people are watching that stuff all the time. But I want to encourage you during my final tour. If you aren't living the life that you want to live, that you take my farewell tour and my final act seriously. I mean, what do you want your final act as a broke effort to be? When you hear that sound, write it down. What do you want your final act as somebody that's been broke, that's been struggling for you? What do you want your final act to be? What would your farewell tour look like? Why don't you join me? My cousins and I throw this yacht party this year. They said, nah. I said, yeah, yeah, yeah. They said, nah, nah. I said, yeah, 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 yeah. Let's throw this yacht party. Let's go kick it on the yacht, man. Let's be bosses. You know, you can only save and invest and plan. You can only do that and be frugal for so long because you don't want to miss the living of life. I mean, life is to be lived, right? Let's throw this yacht party. So we got the yacht party coming up. Until I step foot on that yacht to celebrate just for all the people out there that overcame something serious and you still fighting, I'm with you. This yacht party's for you. Whether you can make it down there with us or not, this yacht party's for you. This farewell tour, if you are ready to be done being broke, this farewell tour is for you. The first step coaching program is where I teach you how to stop doing these things, get you out of your bad habits, and you get the mindset shift that you need. Pump you up, get to working out, get your body in shape so you have energy to go into overtime when you need to. And I don't mean at your job. I mean when you need to go into overtime to get the job done at home. Let me tell you something about Taibu Muad'Dib. So I had to get up early and get my Patreon together, get my couple of emails out for my MailChimp. When y'all download the EFC workbook, you'll be in my mail funnel, and you'll get the inspiration, motivation, and I'll continue to reach out to you. And so when you're when you're an active member in the coaching community, you're getting a lot of value. It just reminds you, man, if my value reminds you that you aren't living up to your standards for yourself, join the program as a paid member, and let's get to work. So my farewell tour, my poverty farewell tour, listen to that, how that sounds. My poverty farewell tour means that you don't have to be broke. By the time my tour is done, you should have a new skill set, a new mindset. Come on, somebody. You should be on your way too. As always, this podcast is brought to you by the First Step Coaching Program, the initiative powered by Heavenly Bodies. And the Guard Me Gear personal security technology wearable. Make sure you donate today. This farewell tour is going to involve all the books. I'm reading them, turn them into audibles. I'm making time to inch by inch get on everything, get out there. I'm gonna be so pricey that when I talk about my coaching program, y'all aren't even going to hear it, because my TikTok followers are going to have paid subscriptions. My YouTube followers, come on, somebody have paid subscriptions. My Facebook followers are going to be on my private Facebook First Step Coaching Program community page and have access to them. We're going to make it private, and then they're going to have access to it because they're paid members. Come on, somebody. I built this thing up. Come on. And for those of you who need to learn on the go and when you have access to it, I brought the Patreon back thanks to our case study, Miss Courtney Spees, who is pushing her way through her 6-month program. And it's subsidized because she's giving out videos and information and promoting the program and letting people know from the inside out how it looks to be in it. Not missing a single class. This is going to be on my Patreon page. You can have access to it. So let me get to the meat of it. I'll be 49 this year. So many of you are my age. Many of you are younger than me. Many of you are older than me. And it never dawned on you to go on a poverty farewell tour. That means many of you didn't decide to put your foot down on being broke. Taiba, you were born to speak. No, I wasn't. I used to stutter. Taiba, you were always buff. No, I wasn't. I was skinny as a twig. I had to work out hard. Go on my pages and see how hard I had to work out for this bigger, beefier version of myself. Taibu, you know, because clearly that you have intelligence, you speak well for yourself. Yeah, but I did a lot of dumb stuff too. Stupid. This farewell tour, I'm going somewhere with this. When I did my sharecropper report, none of you reached out to me like, "Type, that was cold, man. I didn't know I was sharecropping." Yes. This poverty farewell tour, I don't care how long you watch my video. I don't care if you only have a minute or 30 seconds. Let me tell you something right now. This farewell tour is going to change your life. My life has already changed. This farewell tour is for you. This is my final act as a gregarious humanitarian. I get to be rich and selfish next year. Let's lock that in. I've earned right not to talk to none of you until you paid me to be a part of my coaching program. I've earned that. I'm going on 4 years of online coaching, motivational speaking, podcasting. Yes. Yes. They already gave my ticket. So on my poverty farewell tour, as I welcome in a new tax bracket, a new area code and zip code, and I'm, you know, rubbing elbows with, you know, right? I want you to know that some people are meant for manual labor. You know, they want the feel of working with their hands and getting grimy and dirty, and that fulfills them. So they're already wealthy. They're doing what they love. It's fulfilling to them. No way around it. I'm not knocking any of you that bust tables, that pick up garbage, things that are necessary, right? That answer telephones or make telephone calls. I'm not knocking any of you who are on assembly lines and do sheet metal work and steam fitters, pipe fitters, bricklayers, masons. If you are out there grinding, auto mechanics, if you out there getting dirty, fingernails grimy all day, I don't have anything against you at all, because I know the majority of you love it. When I did CNC machining and I did all the stuff I was doing in factories, there was people in there that really enjoyed RF scanning and all that stuff and zipping around on mechanized pallet jacks. Loved it. Been there for years. Can't tell them nothing. 12 years, 14 years, been there for years. And shout out to the companies that have these jobs, make them available. But that wasn't for me. You're my niche if it's not for you either. You should be in my coaching community ASAP. While you're watching this video, go to my page, slide the screen to the side if you have an iPad like me, and go to my page, click on the link, download the EFC workbook, go to my Patreon, click on the link right there, join the First Step Coaching Program. Join me now. If it's not for you, piggyback. I don't mind. Piggyback on my poverty farewell tour. Why would you be poor anymore in a time in America when there are 1,700 new millionaires a day? You can't tell me that many people are smarter than you, that are more blessed than you, that have more resources than you. You can't tell me all them people. Do the math on that. Calculate that on your phone real quick. 1,700 people a day are becoming millionaires. Why would you settle for being broke? I don't get it. I'm not going to do it. As soon as I saw a statistic, I was podcasting one day. I pulled it up. I forget what the show was. I can go back and find it, but looked it up. 1,700. Man, even if I was silly as a box of rocks, I'm telling you right now, I would have to have my day. I mean, we all have birthdays once a year. By your next birthday, you should have figured out a way to get on your first million, right? By a show of hands, by your next birthday in 2025, let's say your 2025 birthday, do you want to clock your first million? 1,700 people a day. I'm saying farewell to poverty. And you should too. And you should too. So tonight's lesson for all my coaching community members is success will look good on you. That's just it. Success will look good on you. We're all social beings. Success will look good on you. Today, I was walking on clouds, making phone calls, smiling, fresh to impress, dressed like $1,000,000. And I'm doing what I love to do, and it feels great. I'm on my poverty farewell tour. This is it. This is it. This is it. For those of you who are in my coaching community, when I call your phone, don't lie to me. Don't play games with me. Because right now I'm not pricey. Tony Robbins won't even talk to you unless you shooting out, money for the premium 10 grand a month program. And people have it and people do it. It's real. After I have this yacht party this year, I'm gonna be pricey. I'm jacking my prices up sky high. Because the people who are finding the resources to invest in learning new skill sets and developing themselves and transforming their mindset and their body, those are the kind of winners I want on my program, because they're going to tell the rest of you. I look back on his page and it only costs $105 a month to work on his program. Now it's dang near 3Gs, you know what I'm saying, to get in the door. It's real. And you're not paying me for what's different about the program. You're paying me for what I've earned in the industry. So do your research. If you need to change, you want to hear it from Coach Taibu. Oh, yeah. If it's time for you to do something different, I'm the guy you want to hear it from. No one that you know personally was as stupid as I was for 30 years. I could have had P. Diddy level success in my early 20s. My mind was dark. I was hard-headed, stubborn, wouldn't listen. I was raised terrible. Dang near paranoid, schizophrenic from PTSD from how the community I grew up in. And to keep myself, I want to say grounded and not really go insane, I just said I'm not going to change. That hurt me. Wasted a lot of time in my life behind bars. It hurt my kids. Couldn't help their moms. It hurt my parents, my siblings. Like, I'm literally estranged from so many. At one point in time, I was estranged from everybody because I just did not care to change. It was easy for me at that point to say the whole world was wrong and no one understood me rather than work on myself. So today's lesson is work on yourself because success is going to look good on you. Don't it? Let's be honest about this. Y'all have seen me podcast in many different outfits. You see the class, the fit, you see, what I'm saying, the confidence, you see, you feeling the vibes. You just don't have anything to worry about. So make sure you're taking the time to work on yourself. Let me give you a bit of advice and I'll get out of here. Just a small bit, just a tidbit. I'm going to build on this as my tour continues. I'm going to tell you something right now. Everything people say about you to some degree is true. Can you handle that? It's Taibu Muad'Dib right here. I ain't going to keep y'all long. I wanted the podcast a little bit, get a quick half an hour in. That's what I'm going to do. So Tuesdays, evenings, and Saturday afternoons, that's my class times. All right. And I'm gonna rearrange that a little bit because I have a new career field. So I'm super busy on Saturdays. It's just not gonna happen. So I'm probably gonna go like to Wednesdays and Sundays. Right? 2 days a week. Y'all can get y'all classes in. But don't worry if you're an active member right now, don't worry. We're gonna get you over to Patreon, and that way we'll be everything's gonna be continuous. Now, there's a part of Patreon, there's 2 different tiers on there right now. And so the Goal Leadership Training System tier, that's for those of you who want to, work on your personal goals and work on your physical fitness. Because that's what leadership, that's what happens. You become a leader in so many different ways when you get your tempo right, and your mind together. When you start making them moves and lining activities up and you start progressing and people can see it, like you can see it, when people can see it, that's what matters. So the Goal Leadership Training System, that's when I get you on my True Coach app, get you a workout and a meal plan, get you started, push you through it. We talk about it. Your touch points are a little bit more involved because we're looking at each other. We're passing tips and ideals. We're getting your song list together. So your workout song list, it has to be intense because we want your workout to be jacked up, right? So it's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but I'm here for that. And again, when this tour is over, you'll be talking to an intern, an assistant. You won't have access to me at all. I'm going to show up for the classes, lay it down. And then for those of you who want to pay the premium price, don't get me wrong. Part of my farewell tour involves coming to a city near you. That's why I call it a tour. So I'm going to be traveling and visiting different places. I'm going to be setting it up. I'm going to come once a month. I'm going to go somewhere and go to a bar, go to a grocery store, a church. I'm going to visit, and I'm going to speak the truth. I'm going to speak the real. Right? So the topic is men being men, women being women, and children being obedient. And that's how we rebuild our communities. Doesn't matter what ethnic background you are from. That's how we build our communities. All right. So I appreciate all of you for joining. I want you to know that once again, success is really going to look good on you. So join the First Step Coaching Program today. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. It's the Poverty Farewell Tour. I'm saying goodbye to being broke. Even if that means stop rapping with you. I'm out of here, y'all. I'll see y'all in class this Saturday afternoon, and then after this week, we're doing Tuesday and Saturday this week. We'll move to the Wednesday, Sunday schedule, and I will post that. Appreciate y'all. This is Taibu Muad'Dib, Certified Goal Achievement Coach, Ultimate Salesman. If you're in the DFW area or not, but definitely if you live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I'm over at Clay Cooley Nissan now. Got promoted, Nissan. And I want to make sure that I help you get into a vehicle that you can depend on, that you can have confidence in, and that you might can make some swerve, make some moves with. But for real, a lot of you are walking, stressing, struggling. 41% of all car buyers qualify for more cars than they expect when they show up to the dealership. Many of you are afraid to come in. So inbox me or DM me, reach out to me. I give more information about that. All right. Taibu Muad'Dib, let's go. And that's the show.